In this episode,
everything has a component of energy or life force, which is this true nature of life or consciousness. Water that we drink has chi and energy, but also physical properties. We're in this physical world. Like you have a body, I have a body, we have personalities. That's our human self. And then we have this invisible, energetic, divine, let's say an easier example like driving. So first you're learning like all the steps of how to drive.
Yeah, you bet.
Then you're going through the motions, and remember at the beginning, like it was so like the rear view mirror, pedestrians, other cars. So then you're teaching the brain, the body memorizes it. So now you're kind of automatically driving.
Okay.
You don't even think about it,
That's
right?
right. A lot of us have that.
And sometimes you don't even remember like how you got home.
Exactly.
Because the body
mention it to
did
people regularly.
Right, you're not fully present.
Correct.
And so the body memorized it for you because the neurons fired together.
hello and welcome to the program. My name is Jacobus Hollewijn. This is an interview I do on a regular basis talking about body, mind and spirit. And I would say today's topic is really about body, mind and spirit. I have my guest, Elaine Huang, who is with us. She has a very, very interesting story. And she is somebody who has done her own work for 35, 40 years, which makes it really this is her path. This is what she does. This is what she has integrated in every part of her being. And in her professional work, she helps other people understand what she is doing and see how well they can integrate that in their own life or in their own work. So it is an absolute pleasure to have Elaine in the studio. Thank you so much, Elaine.
Oh, Jacobus, thanks so much for having me.
Awesome. I want to give us a little introduction about Elaine so that we have a better understanding. Elaine Huang is a mindfulness teacher, facilitator and guide with over 25 years of experience supporting individuals, groups, teams, and communities through life's challenges and growth. She holds master's degrees in social work and clinical psychology and is certified in somatic experiencing, mindful leadership, and search inside yourself, or SIY. Elaine has worked with Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies, small businesses, community organizations, and individuals. She offers retreats, one-on-one coaching, and online programs. Elaine helps people build inner strength and transform habitual patterns through neuroscience and embodied practices while cultivating grounded presence, increasing ease and well-being, and stepping more fully into their true nature. Now, you can find a lot of information about Elaine and what she does on her website, which is mayouawaken.com. And you can email her at elaine@mayouawaken.com or at mayouawaken@gmail.com. Now, we also have a phone number. Elaine said her phone number is available for anyone who likes to call her directly, and that is 406-582-8694. 406-582-8694. Great.
Oh.
Really good. We have talked for so many years.
A long
And I
time.
said, I just love to have you on the show. Because there is so much going on that you do that is so deep and so broad in understanding people. And I think with your master's degrees, and then your own spiritual work, it is something that when you talk to people, it comes so naturally for you to talk about this. I hope we can learn more about how your mind and your heart work.
Oh, thank you, Jacobus.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to share what I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that let's talk about it. It says you work one-on-one, you work with groups. You work with webinars. You do large corporations. How do you approach? Let's start simple. Let's start talking one-on-one with somebody.
Well, oftentimes people arrive because there's some challenge in their life, or there's some type of unhappiness or a stress or an issue or a problem. And so they're coming to me for both the combination of, with my psychological background, advice from that standpoint. All of my work has primarily been word of mouth. So probably their best
That's
friend
good.
came to see me, yes. And so they arrive, and I do a bit of a meditation before I meet with a client. So I have a sense of what they're facing and how to advise them.
You do an intake form, something like that
I
you
have
meditate
an
on?
intake form, but before I read it, I do a little meditation and just land my attention on the person. But when they fill out the intake form, it's almost like a permission slip to look and sense into their energetic field or their heart. And so I can kind of have a feeling of what's happening for them, and then how to guide them from both a secular spiritual perspective and also a psychological perspective.
And secular means non-denominational.
Right, that's right. Not a particular faith.
You have no preconcept about what you're going to talk about as far as religion is concerned. If they want to bring it up, they bring it up. If not, it's not.
Right. On the intake form, I ask them if they believe in spirit or God or consciousness, and I ask them what words they're comfortable using.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Good,
So
good,
then
good.
I
Yeah.
use their language.
Okay.
Yeah, to describe. And so then I'm helping them to either problem solve, but sometimes people aren't ready for change. So then I can have a sense of the time frame that somebody's in. It might be that it's an issue that they may need to work with for a while. Sometimes the answer is to try to change jobs or to leave a relationship.
Yeah.
But generally, if it's not, then giving them tools to be able to stay, to lessen their level of stress, and find other
What do you
ways
mean with to stay?
to stay with a job that
Okay.
perhaps they're
Stay with a
dissatisfied
relationship, stay
or
with a
stay
job.
with a
Okay.
relationship. Those are probably very common topics that people come to me about, or that they're at a crossroads and they want advice as to which way to go. Yeah, so a lot of people come to me during a significant intersection in their life and they're usually not people that follow a mainstream kind of path. They dare to follow their heart and listen to their heart for a new career, or they're really people that are authentic
Yeah.
and dare to live outside of a conventional box.
Right.
Yeah.
So you often notice that these people, in spite of the fact that even though they've been recommended by a friend, for example, they're already on some kind of a intuitiveness and spiritual consciousness path. They're on a
Yes.
path that there is already an interest.
That's right.
Probably
Right.
that question of do you believe in anything usually will be answered in the positive.
Yes, 99.9% of the time. And even if, like, maybe I've had one or two out of 1,500 that were atheist, but they still might have believed in some life force.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so definitely people tend to come from being on a spiritual path when they come to see me.
Would they be more, could you say then, let's say the atheist, that he would be more talking about intuition or instinct?
Or life, or a flow, or being in the flow. And then then I don't have to really use any languaging when I'm speaking to them, and just guide them from a place that they're comfortable with.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they still might believe in something, but not really call it God. Yeah.
Well, of course, then when you have that conversation, it may not be a conversation where the spiritual needs to be part of it. Let's say it's a relationship, or let's say it's a job
That's
choice.
right. Yes.
It may not be part of it. They still want to have an answer which direction they need to go.
That helps them feel more peaceful.
Right. That's it.
And helps them to be more easeful. And so where I can incorporate mindfulness practices or secular spiritual philosophy or wisdom that might help them to cope better. For example, a big one that I often talk about is impermanence. So
Impermanence?
Impermanence.
Okay.
So nothing lasts forever. Everything has a beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
And so that can be good news, but also bad news for the things that we love and enjoy and want to go on forever. But a difficult situation also comes and goes. And that's good news. So it's helping people to then cope with as it's while it's lasting. But knowing that, there's an end to this. Because everything has a beginning, middle, and end, including one's emotions. And that's a bit what mindfulness is about, is if you're staying aware, like somebody might come in and say, I'm so stressed, or I'm really sad, or, and it feels overwhelming, and as if it's like a constant emotional experience. Whereas really, even our emotions fluctuate. We're never solidly angry or solidly frustrated.
Right.
Yeah, there's always space. So when we say, I'm upset or I'm angry or I'm stressed, to really examine, it's like, well, you were a moment ago. Are you still right now?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or you are right now, but just give it a little time. And what does that feel like in the body?
So do you help to guide them into the trauma, into the stress? I use the word trauma now, and I know that is one of the topics that I'm sure can come up in conversation. But do you guide them into it so that they are in the presence of the trauma and then help them to get out of it? Or is it more a train that comes by and they talk about the trauma as they see it happening in front of them?
Well, as I'm meeting with people, I may not help them go into the trauma because it can be overwhelming.
I see.
And so initially you want to build their comfort in the connection.
Sure.
And also talk about things at a level that won't necessarily overwhelm their system. Their system being their body, mind, and heart. And so they might be talking about something, they sometimes do describe something traumatic that's happened. So then I'm holding space and a center point so that they feel a support as they're talking about it. And naturally, there's emotional response that emerges in me so that they feel witnessed and accompanied while they're talking about it. And even though I have extensive training, and everybody on the spiritual path essentially has had some kind of trauma, I usually refer out for that ongoing work. And somatic experiencing and EMDR, eye movement desensitization, reprocessing.
Yeah, super interesting.
Are very effective ways in resolving trauma. Yeah, so because I see so many people, I don't do the one-on-one work, instead of having like 20 to 30 people a week.
I see.
I have hundreds of clients.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
so that might just drop in to see me once a month or quarterly. Yeah.
Wow, it's very busy.
Pretty busy, yeah.
So when you say I hold space for them, does that mean that you let them talk and you are hearing them, quote unquote? You really hear what they say, they feel heard?
They feel heard and they feel held, so they have my full attention. So with all my years of meditation and mindfulness, I can be present and I can be aware of what's happening here, because sometimes some of the stories are very intense.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so they're held by my awareness, my heart, my presence, and by my energetic field, because so many people feel like they've gone through things alone. And essentially we're all walking on these journeys by ourselves. But to be able to describe something that was very difficult or painful to go through and have somebody with compassion and empathy makes quite a difference. It's very healing.
Yeah, it has to be a very unique setting for them to open up,
Yes.
I would say.
Yes, yes.
Because there's a difference with sharing it with somebody who you know and maybe feel that you have a soundboard you talk to, but not getting better, deeper insight or possible solutions. You would have to come to somebody like yourself who been there, done that kind of a thing. That's not what I mean in a negative way. I mean it in a positive way, so that you understand what that emotion can be, and you can work with that and then help them out, right? Help them
Definitely.
out of it, or let them see that there is an ending.
Yes, so that, I would not interrupt necessarily their emotional process. And then when I sense that they were moving through or wherever they are within the time, like it may not be a time to offer solutions yet, because then they might feel invalidated. But definitely, as I'm listening to their patterns of
Okay.
behavior
Yeah.
or relationship patterns,
sure.
so I'm noting all of that as I'm listening, and definitely my psychological background comes into play. But I probably had a sense already of what the psychological themes they were working with, so I can highlight those and advise with that. And then I bring in spiritual truths that are secular, like impermanence. And then also that, so many of the people that come to me have such great resilience. I can help them to strengthen that resiliency and help them find ways to settle their stress levels while they're going through and navigating something. Yeah.
Now you have done meditation for a very long time. It's something that you got into. Can you tell us a little bit about it? And the reason why I'm asking you that question, I did read about your work that you often integrate that when the time is right
Yes.
in conversations with your clients.
Yes.
What does meditation mean to you, and how got that started?
So, meditation is having a point of focus for when you are meditating. And so you might sit with a good posture, and your hands are just placed whether on top of your lap, or there's certain mudras that one can use while they're meditating.
Yeah.
And so you might lower your gaze or close your eyes so that you can go within and kind of take your focus off of ordinary reality. And as you go within, the mind is likely going to be active. So the goal is to give the mind a little point of focus to keep it occupied. That might be your breath and the sensation of it moving in and out as one breathes, or it might be counting as you're breathing in.
Interesting.
And exhaling to that same count. One might use a repeated word or phrase, such as peace, or they might have a Buddhist mantra like Om Mani Padme Om,
Right.
or it might be a mantra from the Sanskrit language, which is the yogic India form of a path that like Om Namah Shivaya. And so when your mind wanders, you just gently bring your attention back. Because what you learn to do is help to focus the mind, and you're aware of what's happening, thought is happening.
Right.
But you don't necessarily have to follow thought all the time. You can come back and anchor your attention again. And what this builds in us is the capacity to return and not follow stress-inducing thought. So a great source of our stress is our thoughts about what is happening.
Right, right.
And so if we have a bit more capacity to focus our mind, it really helps to reduce stress levels. And the body responds. when you're here. And then enduring sensations or emotions, learning to build capacity to feel instead of avoidant tendencies of, like, maybe we have a lot of caffeine or we do a lot, we stay very busy in order to not feel. So we're learning how to feel because perhaps there were in the past overwhelming emotions.
I see.
And then the other thing that happens is while you're here, you're also starting to sense what else is here.
Interesting.
That is a field of silence or peace, an energetic field or unconditional love that we're ever held by. And so we're contacting where we came from, which is this silence, yes, energy, that's right. So then we're more available for this infusion of life force or love that's ever flowing through us, that's pumping our hearts, that's breathing our lungs. And so that's why there's so many profound benefits to meditation. Anything that's stress related, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, skin disorders, digestive disorders, asthma, all can be lessened with this practice. That seems like you're not doing very much when you're engaged with it. But, when I found it, I had gone through a great deal of suffering, having a lot of anxiety and feeling overwhelmed. My childhood was stressful, coming from like being of two cultures and being a woman, an Asian, in this Caucasian culture, was stressful.
Yeah.
And so, and I've had my own trauma and know that, another message I can convey to people is that you can heal and get through the hardest and most traumatic of situations. Yeah. And so meditation helps to soothe and heal trauma and patterns that come out of traumatic incidents.
Okay.
Yeah, like maybe people wind up being people pleasers because they were perpetrators in the past. The way to survive was to submit and be passive and accommodating. So then when you're out of those situations, the reshaping of that pattern is to learn how to be self-advocating, self-caring, including oneself and their needs. So while you're meditating, you might be more aware of your feelings and what you need. It's building a capacity to be more in touch with, your feelings and your needs.
So I do want to ask to go back to something that's very interesting. Thank you for explaining that. When you say in the beginning you focus on a thought or a prayer or a mantra or a word or something to that nature, and that is when you talk about coming back. That means if your mind starts to wander and you forgot about the mantra or the word or the music, whatever it is.
Or your breathing or
your
sound.
Breathing.
You might focus on a sound. Yeah.
Then that's what you do. You kind of get back.
Right.
Into
Gently.
that.
That's right. And wherever, mind wandering.
Yeah.
Like our mind wanders, I think it's something like 47% of the time, or half the time.
Some
yeah.
people, a lot of people have ADHD.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that only increases our stress when we're following thoughts of like, oh no, I have to do this, I have to do that. And
So is the focus on, let's say, a sound or a word or mantra
or counting.
Yeah. Is that the pathway that is used as the pathway to get to the right thought, which is going back to the core? Is that what because meditation is more than just sitting still. It's not about sitting still. It is about what is going on in the mind, and can we calm the mind, and can we go back in the heart and find our pure self? our true self.
That's right.
Is that fair to say?
So the true self, the heart is a portal to the true self.
Okay.
But this true self is also this field of silence. And so I'm so glad that you brought this up, Jacobus, because it's not a lot of people quit meditation because they can't silence the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually not the goal necessarily to quiet the mind. The mind, you're just, it's almost like if the television is on in the background, it's like your thoughts can also be in the background.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And you're just hearing them, but you're not engaging and getting swept away by them.
Right.
And so, and we sometimes we do, and sometimes there are thoughts that need tending to, that need practical actions to be taken. But we're learning how to let go of thought. Thought can continue. It's the mind's job to take care of you and try to produce, oh my gosh, don't forget to do that. But you don't have to dance with it or engage with it. And so you stay centered and here, and then that does help. And then if you're settling the body and calming the body by not following stressful thought, then it is easier to detect one's true nature, one's spiritual essence that is through the heart. But we're all made of it. Our physicality is still what it's made of, at the essence.
Yeah.
Everything has a component of energy or life force, which is this true nature of life or consciousness. Water that we drink has chi and energy, but also physical properties. The air that we breathe has both physical and energetic properties. So everything is of both worlds. So we're in this physical world, like you have a body, I have a body, we have personalities. That's our human self. And then we have this invisible, energetic, divine essence self that is everywhere all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're right. The eventual occurrence is that we begin to feel held by that consciously or unconsciously more and more.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's actually reducing our stress, is that we feel more at home.
Right. I have times when I talk to customers who are very unwell, and I have recommended that they find a few beautiful visualizations of the organ that is damaged,
Oh, yes.
and that they see the perfection of what it should be or can be,
Good.
and that they focus on that, they look at that, so that they send their thoughts to their own organ
Yes.
in order to create a kind of an internal healing.
That's right. Yep, focusing that life force and attention. And the visualization is used in many meditations, types of meditations, but we are very powerful that way. So visualization really works.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like giving the body a blueprint to come back to. Yep, and to restore the organs. So that's fabulous, empowering tool that you're...
something to do. I was reading in your information, and part of the things that you've done is you've done work on somatic experiencing, mindful leadership, search inside yourself. Could you explain something more about these three?
Oh,
Like
sure.
the search inside yourself, I think is super interesting. I mean, all three of them are very, very interesting. But can you explain that to the viewers?
I sure can, with pleasure. So Search Inside Yourself was born at Google.
How interesting.
I know.
In what way? Like the company Google invented it?
A lot of people that were well respected came together to develop the program.
I see.
Yes. And so there was a Google employee who started it. He initiated it along with Mark Lesser, and then they invited Norman Fisher, and they invited well-known either Buddhist scholars
Oh.
or psychologists, to Daniel Goleman, I think, gave feedback as well, to evolve this program that was a mindfulness-based emotional intelligence program.
Mindfulness-based
Mindfulness-based
emotional program.
emotional intelligence program.
Emotional intelligence.
Yes,
There you go.
yes. So it was really teaching the employees how to work with themselves, actually emotional intelligence, from a psychological perspective.
Yeah.
And it was like soft skills and bringing humanity back to work. And this curriculum also brought in meditation and mindfulness, but in a secular kind of way. So to help people cope better, and their goal was to spread peace through the corporate world. That
Interesting.
peace could start individually, and
It
that
should start individually, I
that's
think.
right. Yes, absolutely.
You can talk about peace all you want, peace on earth, but it starts with you in your own world.
There you go.
You're the world. You're the center of the world.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody is the center of their own world,
That's
in my
right.
opinion.
Yes. So it's that's exactly what they set out to do, was to bring about world peace, because they knew their influence was so great by helping inner transformation to happen, and to focus back on the soft skills.
Yeah.
And so they have particular curriculum and courses, and so going through that 5-month training, I'm certified to teach what I love to talk about and
Yeah.
teach, which is meditation, mindfulness, and things that are of the inner world. Emotional intelligence is really part of psychology.
Yeah.
And so
There are 4 parts to it, you explained to me, to
Emotional
emotional
intelligence.
intelligence. Yeah. Can you
That's
explain those, please?
sure. So the first domain of emotional intelligence is self-awareness.
Self-awareness. Okay.
Yeah. So you can become more self-aware with or without meditation or mindfulness, but it is a form of mindfulness to be aware of how what one is feeling emotionally, even sensation-wise, like, am I feeling cold? Am I feeling warm? Are my muscles tense? Like, am I holding my shoulders up through the day? And am I aware of that and lower them? How am I breathing?
So self-awareness really on all levels.
Right, that's right. So that's the first key domain, is to be more attentive here and to be present. And so to build that muscle, because like I said, it's hard for people to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be here because maybe there are things that we don't want to know. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm very upset with my friend, and it's uncomfortable to be here and notice that, because that might mean that I need to have a challenging conversation with my friend.
I see. So you have to find that calm in yourself first, and then decide if you still need to have the conversation or not.
Yes, that's a way, or to feel the different feelings you have that are valid. And maybe if you're with them, you may not need to talk to your
Correct.
friend.
Because you
like you're
resolved the
saying.
issue
Right.
already beforehand.
Right.
Yeah.
Or maybe there is something in the friendship or the work relationship that needs to be addressed. And so to be with that, but first being with that so that there's less charge, because oftentimes we reach out to other people to kind of get rid of the feeling here. Like, if you could do this, then I would stop feeling this.
Right.
But
Right,
instead,
right.
I would stop feeling uncomfortable. But
Yeah.
instead, learning how to be with the discomfort and then see what is left to talk about.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Right.
Because often we think we have to make that I feel I have to tell you that. And the person's like, well, where did this come from? You know,
Right.
you're talking about something that happened 5 months ago. What are you talking about? You know,
Right.
like, why didn't you come up sooner? It usually doesn't end up well.
Yes, that's
when
right.
when you bring it to somebody, and even though you say, "Hey, I don't mean it in a bad way. I just really feel I need to tell you this." You know, it's like if you have had a little bit more self-awareness, then you may have resolved that blow inside yourself instead of bringing it to somebody who is totally not in the mindset to receive that message.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because oftentimes we're wanting other people to help get rid of a feeling here. And yet, if there's an unhealthy dynamic going on, it should be addressed. Or perhaps,
Right.
yeah, if it's a connection, work relationship, or a friendship that you care about,
Yeah.
communication is worthwhile.
Yeah.
Then there's some people that are persistent in their unhealthy behaviors that you just may take more distance from.
Right.
So
So then there is a system, let's call it a system, a way of going within yourself that when you eventually do approach the other individual, it will be in a much less emotional way, but more something, let's not do this again in the future kind of a thing,
Ideally,
ideally.
yeah, ideally. That takes cultivation and practice.
Okay, good. All right.
And then the second domain of emotional intelligence is self-management.
Okay.
So when you're aware of these emotions, then, so if you're irritated and highly activated, that would, like, how do you down regulate or settle down the emotion? It's not always possible before you speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so self-regulating, some people have emotions and they're so big it's hard to control them. And then other people are affected by your emotions
Yeah.
because emotions are contagious. If we're emanating
Right.
peacefulness, right? Or if you're emanating anxiety, people around you feel
Yeah.
that energetic or that emotion, and then it can activate them. So self-regulation is knowing, like, oh, wow, I'm really activated or triggered, and I'm going to wait to talk to this person until I'm more settled.
Yeah.
And how do we settle ourselves down? Do we make sure that our blood sugar is met, blood sugar needs are met, that we're well rested? How do we need to step out for a breath of fresh air? Do we need to take 3 to 5 deep breaths to settle ourselves back down and emotionally regulate?
It's also important within a family dynamic.
Definitely.
As a parent,
Yes.
it is so important how children perceive the parents, and they're so dependent on the parents, no matter really what age you're at. But if you walk in the group as a father or as a mother and you don't have that balance, but you carry a lot of heavy emotions with you, it will have an effect on the mood and on the child.
Absolutely. So especially children, they really detect what's happening around them a lot more than we realize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you show up at work and you're a happy person,
Yes.
all peaceful doesn't have to be you have jovial or you have to be loud or whatever, but the energy that you bring into the workplace is very important.
It's so true. And so leaders or team or managers, and even team members, they can influence their colleagues, or the leaders and managers can influence their whole team
Yeah.
if they're more emotionally regulated and know how to work with themselves and their emotions. Yeah, instead of spreading anxiety or overwhelm.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So then the third key domain of emotional intelligence is social awareness.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is another soft skill, is to be aware of what people around us
You
are
call it a
experiencing.
soft skill?
Soft skill.
Soft skill. All right.
Yeah. These instead of technical skills, which might be hard skills.
Okay.
Yeah. So emotional skills, softer skills that we used to think weren't very important in the workplace. We're now realizing through a lot of studies that, oh my gosh,
Okay.
effective teams, effective companies, the most effective managers have a high level of emotional intelligence.
I see.
Yeah, they have people skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. So social awareness means that I have an awareness about how you're feeling,
Okay.
about how others around me are feeling, and are tuned into if there's a need, or and if somebody's speaking up and they're emotional, like how to meet that with presence and empathy, That comes more with relationship management, which is the fourth domain of relationship, is how do we engage with each other, and how do we enhance and nourish those relationships with each other.
Right.
Yeah.
I see that at times I pick up on that with coaches in sports.
Ah, yes.
Some of them, it just comes out through media or players who say how impressed they have been with their coach throughout the years because they knew everybody in the family, they knew when your birthday was, they knew when you had a tough day or good day. In spite of the
Yes.
fact that it was a team sport, they have 18 players to take care of, and somehow the coaches knew every player, they knew the spouses, they knew the children, they knew certain things that were special in their life. They just were involved in their life and knew how to individually motivate the player to be the best they could be, or recognize when it was a tough day.
Yes.
And that they had pushed them to the limit and couldn't go any further than that.
Oh my gosh.
Have you heard about that before?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is something that I visualize as you're explaining it.
That's right. Like those are ideal team coaches.
Yeah.
And because they have a human heart and capacity.
Correct.
To use it while they're coaching.
Yeah.
So that's
It's a gift. I consider that a gift.
Right. They're
People.
the ones that stand out to us, and they're extraordinary.
Right.
And all of us can aspire to be more like that.
And you have other coaches who don't care about any of that.
Right.
And they push their players very hard, and you often notice that doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
In this day and age, definitely it doesn't work anymore.
No, that's right.
Yeah. Even on guys. It used to be guys, you can just tell them to run through a wall.
Wow.
But not anymore.
No.
And women, definitely not. You can't push them like that. Most of them,
No.
you cannot push like that.
Oh my gosh. No, this is such a beautiful example. Thank you for bringing that up. And that's an example of having a high level of emotional intelligence.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. And you have coached teams yourself.
Yeah, I've coached teams. I don't know if I was that good at that part. I try to think back if I have a gift. I do believe that there was definitely players who I recognized and knew what was going on with them. Yeah. But
it means a lot to people when you're paying attention and you're emotionally invested. Yeah, that's fantastic. And then you've got a team at your store.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah.
I hope I do good.
You do great.
Our store's doing good.
Oh.
There's always room for improvement, but
for us.
For what you said, the way you explained it, that is how I recognize it. And actually it's good to hear because it is something that we can always strive for to be better at.
Everywhere in all areas we can ever keep improving.
So what was again the fourth aspect of emotional intelligence?
So then with self-awareness and with self-management, so you're rather building on these domains, and social awareness.
Social awareness.
Then there's the fourth domain is relationship management.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're learning how to use listening, how to be present with another, how to take in their perspective, even if we may not agree with it.
Okay.
Having room for their experience, because everybody behaves the way they do for good reasons, even if we don't like the way they're behaving. We don't know what's going on at home for them.
Yeah.
We don't know how their day started off. We don't know what childhood they came from. So we're just cutting
what the triggers are, right?
Yeah. Right. Whether maybe they're given tasks that are beyond their skill set.
Yeah.
So do they need additional training, or do we need to better match task with skill, so they're not overwhelmed? So it's really understanding another's perspective and being invested in their growth.
Okay. Being invested in their growth.
Right, and their well-being, not just like what's the bottom line number that we're trying to attain.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Wow. Very good. Very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of blanks that can be filled in. with this, but
Right.
there's a very good explanation. Thank
Oh,
you very
good.
much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Now, what is the somatic experience? I know it is. It has to do with part of it physicality, right? Somatic means body,
That's right.
working with the body. What is that all
That's right.
about? I
So
know Peter Levine has been involved in that, or he started a lot of that.
he did, and he's a incredibly brilliant man. He's got a PhD in psychobiology and then a PhD in psychology, and he developed this system because, we can work with our patterns emotionally and mentally. Maybe, as I mentioned earlier, maybe we became people pleasers because they're one of our, maybe our mother or father was very domineering.
Right.
And so instead of being authentic and having more room for our needs or awareness of our needs, we became people pleasers.
Right.
And so then we might work with that pattern through the mind with our thought patterns. Like we might tell ourselves, oh no, I'm not allowed to have that need. I need to put this other person's need before my own. Or like we might work with ourselves emotionally, so there might be a lot of tears or overwhelm for neglecting oneself and tending to everybody else.
Yeah.
Then somatic experiencing helps us to detect the pattern in the body
Okay.
that may be held, and expressing that psychological or mental pattern from a traumatic moment.
Okay.
So in a moment of trauma, we are overwhelmed by everything that's hitting us.
You bet.
Right. There's just way too much coming at us, our own emotional response, what's happening around us, hard to digest it all.
Could be adrenaline for the time being, but then emotions hit.
Adrenaline, cortisol to help us get through whatever we're facing.
Right.
So we kind of have superhuman power. But all that adrenaline and cortisol is activated to either fight for your life or run for your life.
Yeah.
Or you might wind up your body might decide for you that the best thing to do is to stay still and don't move. Or sometimes people faint. So even though the mind says, I want to run and help that person, your body may decide for you to freeze or faint.
Okay.
And so then all of that adrenaline is still stored that didn't get used. And so through the freeze motion, underneath the freeze is all this pent up energy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the conclusions one made, like, oh my gosh, I failed my friend who, like a war vet, that was headed towards trouble, and I wanted to prevent it from happening. And I didn't get to him because my body chose to faint and go unconscious.
I see.
So then we would have to, so through Peter Levine's system is like, so going back to that memory or that moment in time, what is felt in the body, to finish what didn't complete in the movement. So as I was saying earlier, everything has a beginning, middle, and end, including the way the body wants to move, including the way the energy is moving within the body. And if it was interrupted, then somebody's going to still feel like there's something wrong in the environment, like a unease, like there's still a threat, unfinished movement from that moment in time. That's kind of alerting the system. So people might just carry a lot of anxiety. And so Peter Levine's system would have us drop in to the body and, of course, be well resourced. So you might orient to the room and this time and space as you're going back to do like this earlier work. And so while being supported by the therapist, by orienting toward this time space as you're going back into where the memory is held in the body.
Okay.
And the pattern that is unfinished or unresolved. And then gently discharging. So being with, maybe there's a lot of heat or tightness somewhere in the body. And being with that. So that was there in the moment that happened. And then you fainted. So it didn't get to finish moving. So maybe then it moves up to the chest. Maybe your arm wanted to go like this, like you didn't want to see what was happening, and yet you wanted to also run towards your friend. And so slowly helping the completion of the energy in the physical body so that it finally settles and moves through. So then that kind of self-blame or that shame may somatically be changed, which then helps people to more easily psychologically move forward.
I was going to say, yeah, you need that. You need to reach that platform to move forward to the next instead of being stuck.
That's right. That's right. And you might be more stuck because the body is stuck in that pattern. Like maybe you've had therapy that's helped you move on emotionally and mentally, but we want to catch up the body. So there are the different entrance points in, because we're all mind, body, emotion, and spirit. So whichever way, like you help people get healthier through the body, and that would greatly...
No, not totally just by, I have to, not totally by just by the body, but I had somebody in the other day who wanted to talk to me about her anxiety.
Oh.
Well, that is not something that I just give them pill for or tincture or something. I said, I don't know. I need to understand more how long you've had it. What happened a year before this started? Was there a traumatic event? Is it more around your menstrual cycle? Is it more because you have a thyroid problem? Those are symptoms of low thyroid. And then there could be self-esteem issues. There could be different causes. So when I talk to customers, I really want to listen to them and find out if they're saying something that they don't even realize they're saying. And I try to listen between the lines. What are they trying to tell me? And then I hope to with some questions, to get to a deeper understanding where the possible cause may be before I either recommend a dietary choice or a product, or maybe Bach flowers or something to that effect that help the emotions.
That's beautiful. Yeah, so you're really doing some counseling.
Yeah, vitamins seem to be a physical product, but they hopefully bring either nutrition, or they bring some kind of a nutrition because we're deficient, or they become a therapy, such as an herb, which I consider Mother Nature's form of medication.
Yes.
Because many medications are actually from a herbal botanical source.
Yes.
And so but they're patented and they're isolated. So when you talk about certain herbs, I would say there is a jolt needed in the body, something to either jolt or calm down. But when nutrition, like a vitamin, a mineral, a fiber, an oil, and like a nutritional oil, a protein, those to me are very clear nutrients that we may be deficient in. So certain things are more, even essential oils, work on different levels. So for me, it is trying to understand the individual when I sit down with them. It's not always as easy when I stand in the aisle, but when I sit down with them, I have time to listen.
Oh my goodness! Well, you are well known for the amount of time you give people.
Oh, thank you.
They're so moved by your presence and your care.
Good.
And the amount of time you spend with them, and people just love your team and you at the store. Yeah, you give such incredible attention and support.
But I don't want to take it away from what you just said. I just thought I want to emphasize that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, for me, supplements they're supplementing your diet and lifestyle. They don't take over, to me.
Yes.
For me, it's not, people come in and say, well, what do you got for pain? Well, we have a lot for pain, but why do you have pain?
There you go.
I want to know why you have it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because otherwise we're just going to numb the pain so they can keep doing what they were doing.
Right.
I want to find healing.
Oh my gosh, there you go.
There's a difference.
There is.
Yeah.
Yeah, get to the root and tend to the root.
Yeah.
While you're helping this appearing symptom.
Yeah.
Great job, Jacobus. Yeah, this
you.
is why your store
Thank you.
does so well. And people love you.
I appreciate it.
And
Thank you.
Gesundheit. Yeah.
But you bring an aspect that I don't have time for. You know, I can tap into it, but I don't have time for. And I just think your explanations are beautiful, and the depth that you're telling all of us about your journey and the different studies that you have done to enhance what you may have felt on the inside, but you didn't know how to verbalize it and work with other people is fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I should probably finish my meditation story a little
Yeah,
bit.
please. Yeah.
Yeah, because 1 week of meditating changed my life. I felt calm from within. I had a very stressed, yuppie life in Chicago, and I began to be able to better manage my days, and stress rolled off my shoulders more easily. My cholesterol actually dropped 50 points within 3 months of meditating 2 times a day, 20 minutes each time. My psychodynamic therapist at the time, I'm a big advocate of psychology and therapy. She began to ask me what I had done because she noticed such a shift in me.
Yeah.
My husband at the time noticed a change as well, and it was because of my meditation practice. So I was on fire. I couldn't believe how different I felt with this practice. And I wanted everybody to know this sense of peace from within. And so that's what began my quest to share that practice
Right.
with as many people as possible.
Wow.
And so I began to teach it in the corporate setting in Chicago at AT&T and Bank of America, and also Harris Trust and Savings Bank. Yeah.
Harris Trust and Savings Bank?
Which is now Harris Bank. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So people responded very well under the guise of relaxation and helping them to better manage their stress. And so I just wanted them to start the practice and find out all the other benefits.
That's really interesting, because to me it seems almost more complex to go to a corporate level and to talk to a larger group of people. It seems to me easier, if I can say that, to work one-on-one, because you have the full attention, 100% attention from the client who is sitting across from you.
Yeah.
Where with a group, you may have 100 people, or you may have 50 people or 200 people, but you don't know how many of them are really hearing what you have to say.
That's a good point. And so we're really relying on people then to speak up, or then talk to me afterwards, or email me. They could always get in touch with me through the EAP, Employee Assistance Program, that hired me or that I was a part of. There was always a contact information for follow-up. And also I was aware of who was in the room, and if anybody, I could feel or sense if any distress was happening. So it was, and then it's very useful in a group, because then you're hearing other people. Well, I had a hard time with the breath, the abdominal breathing.
Oh, yeah.
Or, boy, my mind was so noisy. I don't think I'm doing this right. And, so they could hear, oh my gosh, well, me too. My mind was really noisy. But it's like, oh, but listen, a noisy mind is not a problem. So even the first 2 years of my meditation, my mind was very active. I was going through my to-do list, and then I'd come back to my breathing and counting, and then I'd go back to my to-do list and come back to the breathing and counting, and I still had so many profound changes. Yeah. So this inner peace can deepen and become more easily accessible because of neuroscience. That as we repeat this habit, we can find our center and this place of peace more often, noticing it throughout the course of our day.
The neuroscience is working with the neurological system and the brain.
The brain. And
is that what would involve neuroplasticity?
Neuroplasticity?
Is that part of that or not?
It is. So if we were very anxious before, because of neuroplasticity, we can change the brain towards more peace instead of the stress response. So our brains are malleable, and we did not know this before.
Who was the one who worked on that? Was that Daniel Amen, or who was the one who brought up the neuroplasticity? I forgot.
Oh, the discovery of neuroplasticity, I don't know
I'll find
who that
out.
was.
I'll find
Yeah.
out.
But I listen a lot and have studied Rick Hanson, who's a
Okay.
neuropsychologist, his research on the impact on the brain, and he really coaches people and guides them as to how to, because of neuroplasticity, how to reshape our brains towards less anxiety. And then neuroscience shows why that's possible, because if we're repeating a habit or behavior enough, the neurons that fire together, they just wire together, because they say, oh my gosh, Jacobus is doing this so frequently, let's just wire it together.
Okay.
And so then your body starts knowing to do it automatically. So we learn first cognitively, so we're learning some information. Then we practice it to teach the body how to do it. So kind of like whether it's meditation or, let's say, an easier example like driving. So first you're learning like all the steps of how to drive.
Yeah, you bet.
Then you're going through the motions. And remember at the beginning, like it was so like the rear view mirror, pedestrians, other cars,
Yeah.
the traffic signs, the lights,
Yeah.
like it seemed like a lot at once. And then with practice, so firing the neurons and teaching the body what you knew cognitively, so from thinking to doing. So then you're teaching the brain, the body memorizes it. So now you're kind of automatically driving.
Okay.
You don't even think about it,
That's
right?
right. A lot of us have that.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you don't even remember like how you got home.
Exactly.
Because the body
mention it to
did it
people
for-
regularly.
Right, you're not
Yeah.
fully
Yeah.
present.
Correct.
And so the body memorized it for you because the neurons fired together. So we go from thinking to doing, then to being. And so that's the beauty of neuroscience, is that, and that's how we can create new habits. And these new neurons that you're habituating to doing more often, and you're doing another habit of anxiety less often, then eventually that neural pathway replaces the other original one. Yeah. So,
I want to throw in something that may or may not be of part of the topic, but talking one-on-one, you may have noticed, talking with groups, you probably have noticed, people who use drugs recreationally. I noticed that so many people are smoking marijuana recreationally, or they're using some kind of a form like cocaine or opioids. When they sit across from you, or when they're in a group setting, is that something that comes up in conversation? Has it affected their brain, their neurological pathways? Because it does have an effect on the brain. I'm not judging one way or the other, but I am at times surprised how many people do drugs. They don't even think twice. It's like it's part of how we live. Do people with those habits come to you, and is it harder for them to find healing because of possible structural damage done to the brain? Their heart may be open, but the brain may not be able to work with it.
right. So then, yes and no. So on one hand, they've had these experiences of openness, and they've had contact with the field.
Yeah.
So the use of these substances is an attempt, I believe, in one hand, to reconnect to this field of
Okay.
stillness. It's an attempt to self-regulate,
Okay.
or an attempt to soothe anxiety, or to work with one's chemistry that might have been, imbalanced because
Yeah.
of traumatic events.
Yeah.
So, or they're just incredibly intelligent, and so they have a high running engine, and they don't know how to relax.
Correct.
So the habits could affect one's neurology, but because of neuroplasticity, the brain can heal, and they may learn other ways or more natural ways, or decrease their use.
Okay.
In order for the brain to heal,
Yeah.
and for them to experience the quality that they're seeking,
Yeah.
through ways that have less side effects. But also, so they can become more anxious if they're using like stimulants.
Yeah.
But sometimes the stimulants help people to calm.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, people have these different ways of discovering their true nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that a lot of people that have had addictive pasts. I work with the recovery elevator community, but a lot of other people who have worked with alcohol addiction,
Okay.
or cigarette, or pot addiction, and so
Yeah.
or
Addictive behavior.
addictive
somehow.
behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So it just they tend to be very sensitive people, I find, and also that their hearts are like very good, and almost like this world isn't quite made for them, and their sensitivity or their giftedness. And so it's quite easy for them to then open their heart to what else is here,
Yeah.
because they're really yearning for that and searching for that underneath all of their attempts. And I think all of us are really looking for that underneath everything that we reach for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have not noticed that the emotional, they may understand things intellectually, but they may not experience emotions the way people do who do not have an addiction. Is that possible, or am I overstating that?
Well, I think
Still depends on the individual, I
it
guess.
does, and they might need to learn how to be with uncomfortable emotions, because they may have been using the substance in order to not feel.
Right.
So that's why meditation and mindfulness is like a cultivation of a capacity to handle what you're feeling emotionally, mentally, and physically. And so they may need to learn how to cultivate that muscle. But I would say that they actually are oftentimes quite sensitive. And they feel too much. And it's been hard to feel so much. And I feel like those altered states actually have given them a glimpse into, it's like a spiritual experience. Many people have had spiritual experiences through substances.
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, the psilocybin is popular. The mushrooms, certain mushrooms. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, very effective for some people, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you're working on? What I understand that you are working on new things for yourself in the near future. You're thinking about writing a book, and correct?
That's probably down the road. I'm, after almost 3 decades of finding practices that work
Yeah.
for people and sharing them through one-on-one sessions, but also group work. And I have 2 weekly meditation groups now for serious practitioners.
And that is together, or is it Zoom, or what is it?
It's Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've been offering community in-person events again. I have a half-day retreat coming up on October 11th that the Dharma Center is hosting me, Living from True Nature. So I'll help people apply practices to help clear the obstructions of the heart and the mind and the body, to embody more of their true nature, because we really awaken to what we are beyond this human form.
Yeah.
And then it's the embodiment of more of that true nature by reshaping patterns that no longer serve us or need to be here.
I see.
And we do that before and during and after recognition of one's true nature. So I tend to have particular topics that I cover with people and particular practices, and there's a unique way that I might weave things together. And so my hope is to offer longer retreats, so we can really emphasize and people can get a better feeling of what I'm talking about, but through their own experience of it. And ideally have more of a experience of what always is here, and how to recenter themselves to feel that more often through the course of their day, but also work with what gets in the way of that. And so I have a little bit of a a program or approach that I would like to kind of have consistently, so people can take certain facets of what I'm sharing or teaching them and then come back to repeat it or take on another course, so that there's a curriculum.
Yes.
And then I think that's what the book will be about. And maybe the book might have parts of my own journey.
Wow, long journey. It's been a long journey for you.
It has been.
I mean, it's not over because you just enjoy what you're doing.
Oh, I love it so much.
But with your own meditations and visualizations and that you have combined with what you're learning from your clients, what an amazing journey.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Must
so
have just
grateful.
been,
Wow, what a honor to accompany so many people and watch their transformation and support and help them grow into it.
Well, I would like to close it out today. So good to have you with us. Folks, by all means, check out Elaine's website, mayouawaken.com. You can email her at elaine@mayouawaken.com. You can also email her at mayouawaken@gmail.com. And Elaine has a phone number. We'll put it on the screen. It's 406-582-8694. I really hope I learned a lot. I prepped, but I also learned a lot from today's interview. Her depth, your depth when you speak about things is beautiful, beautiful. It almost felt like a meditative session for me. I just enjoyed myself. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you tune in for another episode of Health in Focus with Jacobus, and we'll see you next time. Thank you. Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you so much, of course.
Awesome.
Visit healthinfocusnow.com.